Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous coming out this weekend on Netflix. I think it's time that I review both of Jurassic World movies. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to Fallen Kingdom this week or next week, but I still will be reviewing it either before or after the series releases. And of course, I will be reviewing the series this weekend, so stay tuned for that. I'm kind of excited for it. I don't know. But this is really the most important film to watch in correlation to that series, because that series actually takes place during the events of this movie. Now, I just want to give you a heads up. It's going to sound like I'm ranting from this review. That's not how I want to come across, but there's just a lot wrong with this movie. It's very difficult to explain without coming across like I'm ranting, even though I'm not ranting, if that makes sense. So I apologize for that. So is this movie worse than Jurassic Park 3? It's really hard to tell, because, like, Jurassic Park 3, awful movie. It's very simple. It's very run from dinosaurs, run from dinosaurs, run from dinosaurs, run from dinosaurs, right? And yet Sam Neill's character is very likable in the movie, but that was about it. That was all the positives with that movie. This movie, I see why people like it. I don't understand why critics like it at all, because it's awful. But, I can see why, like, a general audience would love it, because it's a stupid, dumb, exposing dinosaur movie. It's very simplistic. The characters are very weak, but that doesn't really matter, because you have cool dinosaur action. And as that is, it's fine. Like, if you were a general audience member, you would eat this crap up. That's why this movie made so much money. But this movie is not good by any means. So I remember seeing this movie in the theater. This was actually the first Jurassic Park movie I ever saw. So the second or third worst, somewhere in there, I don't know how to rank them, of the series is really stupid. Right? But I loved it because I was younger and I didn't really see the other movies. I didn't really understand. I just watched movies for fun back then. I didn't actually think about them critically. It wasn't really anything like that. I was a kid, So it was fine. I enjoyed it. And I remember it being a big thing. Everybody loved this movie. But now I've gone through a few phases with this movie where I really hate it. I watch it again. I'm like, nah, it's okay. And then I watch it again. I'm like, yeah, this is freaking awful. And this is the final time. It is awful. What makes this film awful is the script. So, like, the dialogue here is straight up terrible. I mean, the way the characters interact, and a lot of that comes to the dialogue is horrible, but it's also the delivery here. Like, the only person who delivers anything with any, like, in a movie like this that's so stupid and dumb, you want, like, charismatic leads that deliver, like, their dialogue, not the best, but, with charisma. Like, The Rock, in every movie he's in, he gives some of the worst dialogue, like really awful dialogue, but he delivers it in a charismatic way that he makes a lot of people convinced that what he's saying is not utter trash, even though it totally is. And that's what's good about The Rock. Will Smith does the same thing, but this movie doesn't have that. You have Bryce Dallas Howard, who's very bland and very uninteresting. She's just like generic theme park running lady, and she's annoying, and her decisions are so idiotic that you honestly hate her. And then there's this stupid thing she does that I can't believe a screenwriter wrote this in the script, that she ran from a T-Rex in high heels. In high heels. Some people act like that's such a dumb, minute criticism, but it's like, that's the tone of the whole movie. Just stupid crap like that is so poorly written and so well, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just horrible stuff. And it's like, yeah, this film, I've heard some people say this movie's good because it has a critique about reboot culture, but that saying is bullcrap, because what they do the whole movie is they're like, hey, this movie is critiquing reboot culture as if it's a, like what they say, they need things to be bigger, badder, and stronger. The dinosaur in the movie, right? He's the bigger dinosaur that's cooler and more exciting, right? Basically equivalent of us saying we need to reboot something to make it different, new, bigger, more exciting, because the older way of movies doesn't work. Right? But in it being a critique of that, it also does that same exact thing. So that's bullcrap, right? Because you're telling me, hey, this is stupid, and you're continuing to do the thing that you were saying, hey, this is stupid, why are we doing this, right? But then you're doing that same exact thing. So, you know, it's like, if I point out this is a piece of poop, that piece of poop, right, and I say, hey, this is poop, great, what did you learn from me pointing out it was poop? Nothing. It doesn't do anything. The only thing to gather from it is that this thing is crap, and that somehow makes you good for pointing out that that turd on the ground was crap. Like, come on. And I really hate all the acting here. All the acting here is horrible. Except for Chris Pratt. But Chris Pratt is a charismatic actor, so no matter what he delivers, he does it fine. I know I said there wasn't really very much charisma, but there isn't a lot from Chris Pratt even in this movie. And he's one of those very charismatic guys. So it's kind of like, it's very strange that he had so little charisma within the film. Like, I was like, really? But, you know, I think a lot of that just comes down to the dialogue being so bad. The effects here are also pretty bad. And why they're bad is because they're not like Jurassic Park. I don't mean like, oh, it's all CG. Like, they do use a couple practical effects, but for the most part, it's all CG. Like that. It was really weird that one time they used practical effects. Like, there's a dinosaur on the ground, it's dead, and they're hugging it, and they're all sad, and I'm like, why did you just use this practical effect? And even that practical effect, like, you look at it, and it's like, that's a very obvious practical effect. It didn't even look real. And it's just very bad, because what makes me mad about it is, like, Jurassic Park, it's about the weight and the physicality. Like, when a dinosaur stomps, you feel boom, 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 boom. That's what you hear. Like, you feel that weight and gravitas, even though you're not actually watching real dinosaurs move around, right? And that's what you feel throughout the film. It's a very, like, big stomp, stomp, stomp throughout the film. But, like, that kind of feeling is like boom, boom, boom. It's the weight and physicality that made you feel like, wow, that dinosaur's really moving. You feel it more. In every Jurassic Park sequel, it feels like they never got it quite down like that. But this was the worst offense so far, anyways, because you just don't feel the weight. It feels like paper. People feel, when they get eaten, they feel like paper. And it's really bad. Like, it's not the worst CG, but it's just, like, compared to the rest of the franchise, it's horrible. And there's just nothing here of substance, right? You know, it's, to me, the Jurassic World series is very disrespectful. Because, and this goes with Jurassic Park 3 too, I guess, but it's the idea of, we got this movie, Jurassic Park, really smart movie, has philosophical themes about how, you know, bringing these dinosaurs may have not been the right thing to do. And in this, and you know, in the second one, they present that stuff, but in these movies, they kind of just ignore it while also stating it. It's very weird. And they ignore the, you know, philosophical themes of the story to make it just a big, dumb explosion movie. And, like, that'd be like if Transformers was a deep character study movie. I guess that was with Bumblebee, but, like, I'm talking about the Michael Bay ones. Like, let's say the first one was some deep character study movie, and then the next four were just dumb explosion movies, right? It'd be very bad. That'd be horrible. Straight up. Absolutely. And that's the problem. That's the problem with the movie. And it's very frustrating. Like, you know, it's very frustrating that people have accepted that that's what these films are now. And it's like, well, I mean, you know, people say, hey, Star Wars has become really bad because of the sequels. But I'd argue they're bad. Like, the new movies aren't good. Even though I gave Rise of Skywalker a positive review, I'll probably go back on that now. But it's just the fun of getting out of the theater, you know what I mean, when you review movies. Star Wars movies anyways. But you know what I mean. The idea of that type of thing is like, the Star Wars movies, they're disrespectful with what they do with the characters, but it still feels like Star Wars within a sense, for the most part anyways. Like, they still try to carry on the themes of hope and you know, family and things like that, connection, and you know, all that type of stuff. They try to carry on the point of Star Wars, maybe not to the best degree, but you know, they still try to carry it along into the new movies. Jurassic World just doesn't do that. It's like, let's just turn this thing that was this and turn it into this. And it's really bad. I also hate the one scene where the guy's wearing a Jurassic Park t-shirt and Bryce Dallas Howard tells him that's kind of disrespectful to wear that shirt, because he's like, yeah, that old park was legit. Like, it wasn't legit. A lot of people died, number one. But number two, she points this fact out within the film, and it's like, okay, you point this out, but then you're doing the same exact thing. You're opening a dinosaur theme park where dinosaurs get loose, and like, somehow someone in this universe thought that was a good idea to make another theme park where dinosaurs get loose. The point of the Jurassic Park movies is that theme park opens, things go wrong, dinosaurs get loose. There is no, hey, let's open another theme park in there, because we learned our lesson the first time. That's how the story was supposed to move along. But instead, we're going back to the well and saying, no, let's do this. And it's really bad, frustrating, irritating writing. It's atrocious. And when they point out how stupid their writing is constantly throughout this movie, it's like, stop. Because what you're doing is you're just pointing out how stupid your film is. And it's like, you can't just point out, it's like what Deadpool does. And not to be clear, I like Deadpool as a character, and he does have some actual good points. But, you know, Deadpool will have a lot of humor where he'll point out, hey, that trope is stupid. We better not do that. And then they'll proceed to do that thing. And so what that means is that he's pointing out the thing that he's doing is stupid while continuing to do it. And it's very irritating. It's very annoying. And it's bad writing. And you shouldn't do that. Because if I say, hey, I'm lazy, and then proceed to be lazy, it doesn't accomplish anything. And pointing out that I was lazy doesn't mean I'm not lazy anymore. It's just very dumb. And I feel like, as a fan of this franchise, everybody should hate this movie. But some people just don't care, and they just want to watch people get eaten by dinosaurs. And if you like that, I get why you like this, but this is just not a good movie. It doesn't try to be a good movie. It just is nothing. There's nothing of substance, value. It isn't respectful to the original movies in any way. It is a dumb, stupid explosion movie with dinosaurs. Also, that subplot with the guy trying to militarize dinosaurs. Like, come on, bro. Here's what's gonna happen. You get a raptor, right? And they're fighting for the good guys. Well, then the one good guy gets shot at. He's bleeding. And then that dinosaur's gonna smell that blood and go, eat him. So he's gonna eat both sides, because they're all gonna be bloodied up. Like, it's really stupid. And they brought that back in Fallen Kingdom. I'll get to that when that happens. But it's like, you should have dropped it here. And they didn't. And they kept going with it. It's like, why? I don't know. So awful.